So I just want Joyita to share her example. Why Joyita? Because Joyita is one of our alumni. One thing I must tell you about Joyita, she was very regular. It was, see, it is a two-way street. It's not one faculty helps, one person helps. Both have to work together. So Joyita was very persistent. It took her 2, 3 months to find a job. What she told me when she started process, there was almost, she's a very senior person. She's at an L&D head type of level. Very, okay, at least strategic leader in L&D. Depending on the company, it can be L&D. Now, why am I asked? So, just to give you just a quick gist, she was not getting any job for 1 year. She had a fellowship 3 programs. And then she came to the application section. One of the reasons why I want to separate the two also is that doubt clarification becomes, it's very difficult to personally discuss with anyone in a clarification session because there are different types of people there. Some people who just want project support. So anyway, let me hand it over to the. Happy to say she's just taken over at a very senior level with one of the top companies. But Joyita, why don't you share? I want you to tell people why you have to be persistent and follow up. So go ahead, Joyita, please.
Thank you so much, Nitin, for sharing the context and introducing me to the group. I'm very excited to be a part of this group, and really, it makes me even more satisfied to really mentor somebody. If with my story, somebody can, get started and really that helps somebody in his or her search, it will give a lot of satisfaction. So wonderful to be a part of this session. And yes, like Nitin said, I have been looking for a job for almost, and the challenges which I faced already been shared by Nitin in his slide, where he talked about things like
but Joyita, can you share some of the emotional, especially I think. Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. Like your slide also mentioned about some of the challenges that we all of you must be facing, and I too face that. So initially, before I got engaged with Middle Earth, did the certifications with Middle Earth, I would myself go to LinkedIn, go to Naukri, and many other job sites, IIMS jobs, and of course, about every day I would apply to about 8 to 10 jobs there, and they were all very relevant. My profile really fit in well, but somehow even if the calls came, it was not materializing. Sometimes I would not receive calls, sometimes I would even if I received calls, they would be a first round with the recruiter over a call, and then communication. So this kept on going on for a very long time, which really demoralized me. And I like then said that it really emotionally brings you down, right? So at a time, there was a time, though I'm a very self-motivated person, and I really get demoralized very soon, but there was a time when I felt that it's getting too much. What's wrong with it? Why I'm not able to crack something? Why I'm not able to get job in spite of doing everything? Really preparing well for interviews, for my building on my profile, looking out for some great job, portals. Still, it's not working out. So I think I think the biggest thing happens to you in a job search, it really demotivates you. It at a time you're like really depressed, that okay, why me? Why is everybody else getting a job? Why am I'm not, right? So all of this happened to me as well, and that's when I thought that's when I felt that probably it's very important. And Nitin certainly has been like my mentor, and he is and he's played a where I'm currently working in a senior strategic position. So I think I felt that probably I need to upgrade myself. That was the first thing which I did, and then I went to Middle Earth. I did three certifications based on my domain that I am. So I experienced for about 17 years. But I was more curious and interested to know about the subject of OD, and I wanted to get into a role of OD. And hence I thought that it will be important for me to get certified in that area. So I got myself certified in OD, in L&D also. I mean, even if you're certified, and this is for everyone who's in the group, sometimes we feel that, we are all there, right? We everything about the domain that we are in. But since the dynamics and the environment is changing so much, I think it's very important for us to upgrade ourselves and keep ourselves abreast with what's going on. So I did a certification in L&D as well, and also I was very interested for the domain of talent management, and that's also one of the certifications which I did. And, that really helped me to kind of bring that forth in my profile, in my resume, right? Once I completed all the certification, I started building my profile, because I felt that resume, the way that you're structuring a resume and preparing a resume, that's one of the most important things in your job search. The first thing which I did was attended the resume writing session, which does it. All of you who's an alumni would know about it. I attended that session, got to know about the various formats and structure of how do you build resumes. And then I would always, as an alumni, be very persistent with attending the doubt clarification session, which happens every Sunday from 3 o'clock with Nitin. And, that's why started working very closely with Nitin, sharing my challenges, sharing what should I do next, and how can I be successful in my job search. The first thing that Nitin recommended is how do you first of all job search, right? And also how do you build resume? So the first that I did was building on my resume, really structure it well in a manner that is very crisp. At the same time, bringing my experience and my strengths and my expertise and my certification in the forefront, right? So just example, in my resume earlier, my certifications were at the end, right, just before my interest. And of course, I had put my strengths and the work which I've done. But was what Nitin recommended in the doubt clarification session, just put the certificates at the top after your summary. I also made the summary much more crisper and much more relevant. And then below that, I would put the certifications. I would just a 2-pager CV from a very long CV which I had. Right? So
Just
that
1 minute,
made it
yeah.
very.
So I'll be talking
Yes.
about some of these very key aspects. But what I liked about Joyita is she followed the recommendation. Sometimes I see people who come and then they just get it and leave it out here. But remember, job search is a serious effort. Resume and again discuss with me. So it was not a single one-shot improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. So I made the changes. I, attended the DS, the doubt clarification session again in the next one, and I showed it then that how is it, Nitin, your thoughts, your feedback. Based on his feedback, I again made the changes. So I was very persistent, and I kept on incorporating what was coming to me as a feedback, and because I knew that for my betterment. So I was doing that, and it really worked very well. So that was one piece in terms of the resume. The second thing, which was very important, was also in the job search per se. I was initially applying the jobs to LinkedIn and I'm jobs only. Naukri a little, but very frequently. Also, I was not getting calls when I was applying from Naukri, so that was like kind of a demotivator. I was not getting very relevant jobs. And this time around, I've always worked in Delhi NCR, but this time around, I was consciously open to look at opportunities outside Delhi NCR. But I just had one resume on Naukri, and where the location was mentioned Delhi, and I was expecting that I'll get calls from other locations also, but I did get it. When I didn't get calls, I realized that other locations are not calling me because they feel that see Delhi and they see 18 years of experience in Delhi NCR, so why should I call this candidate, right? So what I did was, and that was a great recommendation by Nitin in the doubt clarifications session, that I should make 2-3 versions of my profile where I can, one could be around for a location which I'm preferring, like a Bangalore, a separate one for Hyderabad, and of course one could be a generic one which can have Delhi NCR plus Pune was also my preferred location which I was looking out. So the moment I did that change, I started getting calls from other locations as well. I started getting calls from Bangalore. I started getting calls from Hyderabad, and in fact, the number of calls also increased versus what I was getting earlier. Whether it was Delhi NCR, whether it was Pune, all the other locations. So this was a very good insight, and in fact, my current role where I'm working right now, I'm working in Pune, and I'm working for a role I always wanted to work on, which is the organizational development. So I think that really worked very well for me. I started calls, relevant calls of opportunities. And, then of course, started having the discussion with the recruiters and, the next steps, etc. Once I started getting a call, of course, this opportunity which I've got right now, I got a call, and then I really liked the role. It fitted very well to my aspirations, and hence I moved forward. As a next step, I was not very complacent that, okay, I've got this, I'm going to crack this. I was persistent with my efforts till the end, right? Otherwise, it can't work. So the next step was, of course, cracking the interview, which I think is the most dreadful part for a lot of people. I have been overall good with interviews in my career, but this time, because I was moving from a senior mid-level to a senior leadership role, I think it was very tough and very challenging. So hence there was a different strategy required for that. While I was preparing based on what the requirements is, but this time around, and Nitin recommended that look at the JD very well. Like, that's very important. Look up the JD of the very well and prepare yourself based on that, right? So you may have a lot of experience, and I'm talking about this group here, but sometimes we prepare in a very generic way that, okay, if I'm a L&D professional, okay, these are the experiences that I have. But this time around, I prepared based on what the JD demanded, and each of the expectations from the JD. I thought about what could be some of the potential questions which can be asked to me. If I would have been an interviewer, what questions I would ask to a candidate for this sort of a role. And I prepared myself based on that. And I not only prepared thought in my mind, but I also rehearsed my responses. I think that's also very important, right? To be very crisp and to be very relevant to the question that's been asked. Sometimes we go all over the place. And somebody told me, like, while during my job search, that sometimes, you just try to over express too much when you have been looking out for a job for a long time. So I think being conscious about that, really being prepared, and I actually did that, and I had a couple of rounds, for my current role. But I think I was so prepared that this was there in my head that I have to crack this. So and it happened. So yeah, I mean, preparation is the key. And for that also, I continuously attended the doubt clarification session on Sundays with Nitin, getting his mentorship and his thoughts that how can I improve myself, what all strategies I need to adopt. I think that really helped. And yes, finally, I got a job of my choice, of the role which I was really looking for a very long time. So yeah, I would really like to thank you, Nitin, I can't thank you enough. And Middle Earth, of course, for those wonderful certifications which is done. And yeah, so that's how it worked. But I'm happy to kind of like answer any questions if any of you have, and help others also to get their dream jobs as well. So thank
Perfect.
you so much.
Perfect. So first, let me thank Joita for sharing her example. I just wanted to illustrate three, four main points of what she said. First, it is not that Middle Earth got the jobs. It was her skill which improved with a few suggestions from mine, and she taking those suggestions to improve the resume, improve the job search, and getting a little bit of emotional and conscious support that there is someone there behind you who will help you. These things are very important, guys, for today's job market. And that is the
Yes.
reason why I have decided to run this program, because I know, like Joita, there are so many others. And sometimes my time is limited. I'm working almost 7 days a week, but not to this thing. I try to help people, but sometimes, it's quite busy. So having some set of coaches who will also help is very important. So first, let's give a good thank you to Joyita for sharing her example. I think it's inspirational. I think it's the right thing to do. Give her a good clap, guys. Give her an emoticon or whatever to thank her for coming down, spending the time, and telling us about what works, what doesn't work. All right. And
Thank you
I
so
am
much,
happy to
Nitin.
say that she got, see, there are two things here, not just any job. She got a job of which she wanted. She wanted an OD plus L&D job. Earlier, she was doing L&D. Salary wise, I don't think she got a huge jump, but she had a 1 year gap where she didn't have a job. And the number of job interviews she was attending was going up day on day. She did get a decent, I mean, some jump, but not a huge jump because of the gap. But I'm sure when I told her also, when she's going for the next job, when she's already got LNOD and she's in a place called Pune, Mumbai, she can expect a 40, 50 lakh job compared to what she's getting right now, which is, I'm not giving her a job at 30 lakhs. Yeah. So she
Right.
can get
Nitin,
a
I want to
huge
add
jump.
on something which I think I missed, and again to everyone, that this emotional support, which I think which I received from Nitin as a coach and as a mentor, I think that was immense, because I think that's very important. Like Nitin is talking about, that sometimes we all get demotivated and demoralized, not getting a job of a choice. But he kept on telling us that it will take time. You're at a senior level, that's going to take time. And also, it's going to certainly happen because you bring that experience and you will be able to do it. So that sort of motivation and inspiration and continuous persuasion that you're going to do it, I think that's very important, apart from all the operational things. Yeah.
I just wanted to add one point. I told her one or two job opportunities, some opportunities which were coming up. I told her not to take it up. I said it will come. So, she was looking at some other things. And I said, don't do all that. Don't waste your money and time on
Yeah,
everything
right,
else. Focus only on this.
correct.
And she did get it. I'm happy to say, I'm not saying everyone will get it. I think Joyita was also a person who took all the suggestions and worked hard. So it's not one-way street. In fact, I think the coach and mentor can only do 20%, 80% has to be done by the mentee or the
Yeah,
coaching.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Thank you, guys.